Okay, additional proponents to LB737.
What's the time on it? 5 or 3? Thanks. My name is Karina McCormick, CARINA, MCCORMICK, and my salutation is doctor. Although I won't really get to show off my skills because I did all this on my phone. Ironically, the campaign finance website seems to be blocked on the Capitol Public Internet, so you actually cannot investigate it from the Capitol, which is a separate problem I think we should look into. I wasn't planning on testifying here today, but after what I saw on the floor this morning, my concerns about partisanship in the legislature have increased dramatically. And some people here have kindly omitted the name of the donor that they're talking about in terms of disproportionate impact on elections. But I really want to talk about this worst case scenario of one person really extremely changing the entire politics of the state, and that is in Pete Ricketts. It's not just Pete Ricketts as a person, but it's Pete Ricketts as this possibility. He's really shown us the danger of our current laws, and he's used that to his advantage. For the last election cycle, either Peter Ricketts or J. Peter Ricketts or J. Peter Ricketts donated to Holcroft $30,000, to Koth $20,000, to Ibach, Von Gillern, and Reapy $10,000, to the opponents of Dungan, Hunt, DeBoer, Raybould, Michaela Cavanaugh, and I assume every other Democrat that got elected, $10,000. Moreover, for the governor's race, he contributed $100,000 to Pillen, $100,000 from a single person to determine who's going to run our state. And the other senators here, for the most part, seemed to be that 10,000 was the number that he chose. Suzanne Geis wasn't up for re-election in the legislature, but she is up for election as mayor. She got $100,000 from Pete Ricketts. How do you think that having $100,000 from somebody and knowing how they want you to vote when it comes to taking rights away from trans kids is going to affect your cloture vote when it comes down to every vote matters about the rights that trans kids are going to have in our state? How do you think it matters when everybody else got $10,000 for state legislature, but Kathleen Koth got $20,000, and she's the one that chose to bring the most extreme, most harmful bills against trans kids in this state? Multiple bills that are stamped from national groups in line with the conservative practices that Pete Ricketts endorses and has put into practice with this unlimited campaign contributions that he is allowed to make, and that you as a body have the ability to change. I wasn't going to come today because I didn't actually have hope for this bill, and I do recognize the truth of the statement that the master's tools will not be used to dismantle the master's house. But I, after what I saw today, needed to come and talk about the absolute travesty of what we consider to be free and fair elections that is going on behind the scenes with unlimited campaign contributions, specifically from Pete Ricketts and every other wealthy Nebraskan. Keep in mind that the Pete Ricketts of the United States can do the same thing with influencing national races like the Lincoln mayor race and all of these state senates. What do they care who the 49 people in Nebraska legislature are? The reason is because there's these national groups with extremist views that try to push the same bills into every state legislature across the country, and they use money to do it. And that takes away from the authenticity of the views of the people of Nebraska. It takes away the right of Nebraskan citizens to influence their state senators because they cannot contribute $10,000 even to their own state senator, let alone every single state senator who's running for re-election or first election. Maybe $1,000, as is in this bill, is too low, but this unlimited needs to change, and we don't even need to wonder, what if this happens? What if this happens? We're seeing right now the worst case scenario of unlimited campaign finance in our state legislature, in local races like Lincoln Mayor, and in the governor's race. So I really encourage you to take campaign finance seriously and protect this body. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Questions? All right, thank you for your testimony. Okay, additional